Hello, good afternoon, good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining this BrowserStack webinar. We'll start the session in a few minutes. The topic of today's session, as all of you are aware, is AI-powered website testing. How do you automate critical QA checks in minutes without using coded automation? That's what we'll be talking about today. So just some housekeeping items. The session will run for 60 minutes. All participants will be muted so that we can speak clearly. There will be dedicated 15 minutes Q&A at the end, but that shouldn't stop you from asking your questions. You can start sharing your questions right away. As the session starts, you'll see a Q&A option on your screens. As the session proceeds, just start putting in your questions. We have our team on standby. They'll try to answer some of these questions offline. Others we'll take live towards the end of this session. The session is being recorded. The recording and the presentation is going to get shared with you. Now, moving on to the agenda, we'll talk about website operations at BrowserStack. How do we handle websites at BrowserStack? We'll discuss importance of website quality briefly. We'll discuss why manual checks don't scale. What's the real problem there? And then we'll talk about automating QA without any code and using AI. We'll also have a quick demo of a solution that we have been building at BrowserStack to sort of make all of this very simple for you guys. And then, like I said, towards the end, we'll take the Q&A. A quick introduction. I am Shantanu. I am a principal product growth manager at BrowserStack. I work on multiple products here, and my experience has been in working with marketing teams for over 8 years now. And we also have Vivek. Vivek, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Vivek, and I'm working as a principal product manager here at BrowserStack. And I currently manage the website scanner product. And I've worked with multiple products in BrowserStack over the years. I also had the chance to manage our BrowserStack.com website within BrowserStack. I have over around 13 years of experience.
Awesome. So I think just again, reiterating our topic today, we will be focusing on how you can scale website testing and how you can automate it without using coded automation, because we have seen that coded automation has been a problem and a non-starter for most teams. They don't want to get into it. So we'll talk about all of that a little bit. Now, moving on, I think Vivek, this webinar is about testing quality of websites, and for many years you have been leading website experiences at BrowserStack. Now, for our audience's context, before Vivek was a product manager, he was handling the website experience at BrowserStack. Maybe you can talk a little bit about how BrowserStack website gets handled, Vivek, and what is our website operation look like? What's our scale like? I think that would help set some context.
Sure, sure. So I had the chance to manage the BrowserStack.com website for a few years here at BrowserStack. And today, if you look at our website, it spans over like thousands of pages, and we have millions of monthly visits. And we also work with a distributed team of developers, marketers, and designers. And we are constantly shipping updates because we have like around over thousands of pages. We see that a lot of new pages are coming in. Also, for the existing ones, we are constantly shipping updates.
Awesome. I think what would also help, Vivek, is if you could tell us a little bit about how does this flow work, right? What's our workflow like? Where do these requests come from? Then who handles development and what is the QA process like? That would help.
Correct, correct, yeah. So generally, whenever we want to publish a new content, right, the request comes from the marketing team, and the development team then develops components that is required to publish these components, and the QA then tests these components. And once the content is put into those components, it goes through another round of testing. And once it is cleared for production, then the page is made live. That is a process that we follow at BrowserStack.
Got it. And just maybe diving a little bit deeper into that, what's our QA process like? And I'm sure it has changed a lot since the time you left our team, but what was it like then? Was it mostly manual or did we also have some automations in place? What were we doing?
Right. So, like I said, like we have a huge scale. We have thousands of pages. So, to maintain quality of this at this scale, right, we follow a very structured dev and QA process. So, we have the code reviews, automated tests, and along with that, we will also have regular accessibility and SEO and performance audits. So, we do all of those. But even then, right, with the sheer volume of updates that is happening on the website, it is hard to catch regressions early, especially when you talk about issues that go beyond functionality, right? Like if there are any layout shifts, for example, in a smaller screen or on a tablet, their layout is not functioning as we intended to. And while publishing the content, there might be some links that were not published correctly, so they're broken. There could be some content mismatches or spelling mistakes. So a lot of these things they still creep into production even with having all the automation and the additional tests that we do, right? So that is the current status of the BrowserStack website.
Got it. I think for the context of our audience, BrowserStack for most people used to be the browser testing platform. We used to offer devices to test your software. But now we have scaled into multiple products. We're reaching close to 20 products. So you could imagine that these 20 products have their individual squads, their individual microsites, and everybody is pushing updates constantly. So it is not like a linear process that there is one team that's pushing updates. There are 20 different teams in parallel pushing updates every day. So it's a massive operation. Moving on, I think Vivek, we know that website quality is important, right? All of us know that. But what we'd like to know is from your perspective, since you've been working on building the website scanner product, handling our website experience, why does this really matter? And what kind of issues do people commonly run?
Right, right, right. So website QA it's very, very critical because it directly impacts how people perceive your brand. It will directly impact your SEO, and it will also like if your website has like self-serve, right? It is going to directly impact your conversions as well. So simple issues like a CDA that is broken, or a layout which is not correct on mobile, or a page that is loading too slow, it can directly cost a customer, right? So you can see on your screen like these are the kind of issues that we experience most frequently, like a visual element is broken, there could be a lot of compliance issues, or the page load times are slow. And when a prospective customer sees any of these issues, right, it is very, very unlikely that they would return back to the website. So that is the reason why website QA is very, very critical.
Right. I think, and again, for business critical websites where you're selling a product or there is some, let's say, a booking flow happening, like these things become very critical. uh, because you've invested a lot of energy and time on getting that customer to your website first by running ads and doing whatnot. And once the customer is there, you've taken them through the journey of, let's say, a checkout, and then your checkout breaks, right? So that page breaks. So that in of itself, it's very problematic and it could be very costly for you. Uh, I think we would also like to know from all of you, our audience, which of these problems are most relevant for you. You'll see a poll on your screens shortly. If you could just put in your answers, what do you think matters to you the most? And you can select multiple of these options. I think security has always been a big one for a lot of people, right? Maybe enterprises solve it, but Vivek, like again, small teams are not able to solve it properly, fully.
Yes, yes, yeah. So there are like a lot of things that you could do around security, even like simple checks for like checking for like content security protocol tags. All of these can help a lot with your website security.
Right.
Um, Also, a lot of this localization issues, companies could have websites which are in different languages. So it might work well in one language, but it might break for some other language. And also the geolocation issues, right? So we are sitting in India. So if you see the website might work fine in India, but if you test the same website from a different location, it might be breaking. So these things are really difficult to catch.
Right. Right. And from our experience, Vivek, do all organizations follow the same QA approach for their website? What does it look like? You've spoken to different customers while you were building this product out, the website scanner product that we are also going to share today. Uh,
Hmm.
what has been your learning from different people?
Yeah, so we work with a lot of customers who want to test their website on a daily basis, and we see that the QA approaches vary very widely. So there are some organizations which have a dedicated QA team. whereas there are few who completely rely on developers for testing, and a few of them have automated their tests. On the other hand, there are a few customers who are currently still using free tools for doing manual checks. So there is this entire spectrum where people are doing different kinds of testing. But at the end of the day, it depends a lot on the scale of your website, how big your website is, how business critical your website is for your operations, how frequently you release, and what is the ROI that you're getting from the website, right?
Right. And I think we've also seen people go through different stages of maturity, right? And a lot of people, when they think about automation, they have automated the functional checks on their websites, but the non-functional checks still remain kind of manual, right? So that's also something that we have seen, right?
Yes, yeah. Most of the non-functional checks are either manual or people are using multiple free tools to test that. So that is a area which could need a lot of improvement. Like when you compare functional with non-functional, right? Functional is always doing much better than the non-functional tests of your website. But when it comes to customer experience, the non-functional experience is also going to play a major role. So it is time that we focus on that as well.
Got it. I think before we proceed, I see a few people raising their hands. If you have any questions, maybe use the chat option. We have our team there on the chat. They'll be able to help you out. We won't be able to handle the hand raisers directly on the screen right now. That'll interrupt the flow for other folks. So please use the chat option. Moving on, Vivek, you talked about free tools, right? So I have two questions. Why doesn't everybody automate all checks? When we know automation has value, when we know that it helps you scale, whether you're one person, whether you're a two-person team, or you're, you know, 50, 100 people, automation helps. Everybody knows that. Why doesn't everybody go ahead and automate all kinds of checks? And second, you also mentioned the free tools, right? So you said that people use free tools. What's the real cost of these free tools? Why shouldn't we use them, or should we continue to use them? What's your take on that?
Sure, sure. Yeah. So automating everything sounds really great, right? If you could automate everything and all the tests are running and everything is perfect, that is the ideal scenario. But when you look at reality, right, automating is not very, very simple. So a lot of these automation tools require custom setup. They need a lot of coding effort, and you also need ongoing maintenance. You cannot just like automate once and it's not going to run forever, right? You need to have like ongoing maintenance on that. So for highly technical teams, this might still work. But when you're talking about website, a lot of non-technical, non-dev teams are involved, like marketing and design. So this full-fledged functional automation creates a lot of friction for this non-technical teams, like the marketing and design, right? So that is the reason why automation is very difficult. And coming to free tools, right? Free tools are very convenient, but yeah, but they have their own hidden costs as well. So free tools, they are not very comprehensive and they only cover a subset of your issues. That is the first thing. And the second thing is they have limited integrations and it is very difficult to scale with them. So there will be a point where your website is scaling and the free tools are going to hit their limit. So with all these things, right, you're going to have all your tests in like you're doing like part of your test in multiple tools, and you will have to manually stitch that all together at the end of the day. And this might leave a lot of blind spots in that process. So bringing the data from different tools together, there might be a lot of areas that might miss.
Right. And I think something that we've also seen is the prioritization problem, right? When you're using multiple tools, you're stitching together data, you might end up spending a lot of time on fixing low impact issues and you leave the high impact ones unattended, which again creates a problem of its own, right?
Yes, yes. Yeah. So a lot of these problems which we just talked about, right? We as an organization have faced them ourselves. So that is the reason why we have built this tool. And our goal with Website Scanner was to simplify the website QA, right? So it's a no-code tool that will scan your website for broken links, broken CTAs. It will also check for visual and responsive regression. It will check for accessibility gaps and also performance bottlenecks, and all of this is done in one go, so you don't have to like go to multiple tools or you don't have to do multiple checks for this. You just enter your URL and you hit scan and you get like actionable insights around all these areas, and there is zero setup required, right? So that is the beauty of it. And the goal with this tool was to bring automation level coverage to teams that don't have time or resources to set up automation manually, right? And recently, we have like a lot of AI features also as part of the tool. So our underlying engines that check for accessibility issues and Percy engine which checks for visual issues, both of them are AI powered. And coming to the Spectra accessibility engine, right, we are able to find issues faster. We are able to find much advanced issues with the help of AI. And similarly, coming to Percy Visual Engine, one of the major problems with visual testing is false positives. There is something which was flagged by the tool, but it might not be a problem. Uh, it was a little difficult to do with traditional tools, but with AI, we are very clearly able to identify actual issues and we are able to reduce false positives to a large extent. So that will save a lot of time during testing.
Right. And I think it's important to also call out for people that like none of this, our goal with the tool has been to make all of this less intimidating for people and less reduce the friction completely. So all of this, like Vivek mentioned, is under the hood. It's using AI to improve the accuracy and the performance of the scans. To you, it's very simple. You just put in your website, you run the scans, you're done. You get the results. You don't need to worry about AI. You don't need to worry about any configuration, anything. Right? That's completely on us. We are using that to improve the performance of the product. And maybe Vivek, what would help everybody see the value of this is if you could demo this solution for us. I know you have also had a demo for us. If we could see how does this work, and how do you think people use it on a day-to-day basis? I think that would help a lot.
Sure, yeah, let's do that. Let's get right into the demo. Are you able to see my screen?
Yep.
Yeah. So this is the website scanner dashboard. And here you can see like we have already run a few scans. And if I go into any of these scans, I can get like a high level overview of what's happening with that website, right? So for with this website, I can see that there are a few accessibility issues with these components. We also get like a accessibility score of that entire website. And you can see like all the other different types of issues as well, right? How many visual screenshots were there? How many were approved? If there were any rejected, you can see them here. If there are any broken links or if any CTAs are not working, you're able to see it here. If your website has any performance issues, you can see that here. This one doesn't have, but here you can see like there are a few pages which have performance issues. And similarly, how is your website performing on different screen sizes, mobile, tablet, desktop, and even wider screens, right? That you can see here. So you're able to see like a high level overview of different issues. And on the left side, you can see like those different link to the different reports. And for any of these scans, you can easily go and navigate to each of those reports. We will go and like look at details of each of these different types of reports in a minute. But before that, let me quickly walk you through how you are going to set up this scan, right? So I've been talking about how easy it is to set up a scan with website scanner. So there are three ways in which you can give your inputs. One is a manual mode where you can just give a URL and click on add page. And this will add the page to your list and you can start testing. If you want to test your entire website, and if you have a sitemap, right, you enter your website URL, you select this option and click on add sitemap. What it does is it will go through your website sitemap and it is giving you a tree of your entire website structure. So here you can see like the structure of your entire website. You can select the pages or the group of pages that you want to test and you can click on create scan. It's that simple. And for folks who doesn't have a sitemap and still want to test their entire website, we have the crawler option. This is also very, very straightforward. You just enter your website, click on add page, and then click on create scan. This is going to crawl your entire website. And it will give you like, it will tell you all the different types of issues that your website might have. Right. So this is how you create a scan. It's very, very simple. You just enter your URL and you click on create scan. So it's that simple. And coming to the settings, right? If you click on the settings button here, you see the different settings that the tool offers. So here you can either run your two scans manually, or you can schedule them. So you can have recurring scans. You can select the frequency of the recurring scans, like daily, weekly, or monthly. You can select the time at which that scan needs to run. You can have an end date, or you could have like perpetually running scans, right? So let's say if you have this weekly, every Sunday it's going to run, and Monday morning when you come back to office, it's going to tell you if your website has any new issues that you need to be aware of. And similarly, we support a few advanced options as well. If you want to test websites that are hosted on your local environments, which are not on production yet, you can use a local testing option to do that. If your website has login, there are a few people who might have the documentation behind an authentication. So you just configure your authentication here. You give the username and password, and whenever a login page appears, the scanner will automatically log in for you and scan all the pages behind those that authentication as well. And finally, you can also configure cookies. So there could be multiple use cases for that. One very frequent use case that we see with cookies is you see the cookie consent banners that appear, right, where you will have to accept or reject cookies. That will become a blocker for scanning your pages. So you can use this setup to automatically dismiss that banner. So you could easily go and like scan all of your pages without any obstructions, right? These are the general settings which are applicable to all the different types of scans. And there are a few specific ones. So let's come to the first one, which is accessibility. So here you can choose the different WCAG compliance that you want to use while doing the accessibility checks. And along with that, you could choose to see issues that just needs review, which might need manual inspection. And you can also include best practice issues also as part of your report. And coming to the visual scan settings, the first setting you have here is to be able to add a delay. So it might take some time for a few dynamic elements to completely load, all right? So if you set this delay for 3 seconds, 5 seconds, or whatever you want, the scanner will wait for that amount of time after the page is loaded to take the screenshot. So if there are any dynamic elements, all of them would be stabilized, and after that you can take the screenshot. And the second option we have in visual is layout testing. So there could be some websites like e-commerce websites or some content websites where your content will be changing constantly everyday basis, but that shouldn't be a matter of concern because that is designed to be that way. But what you would rather want to do is check for the layout, that all the elements are correctly placed, even though the content within that element changes, that is intended. So that you can do using layout testing. And if there is any custom CSS that you want to apply, if there are any banners or any other visual elements that you want to hide before taking a screenshot or test your website, that also you can do by adding custom CSS. And finally, coming to the responsive scan settings, here you can test your website across multiple viewports. There are three standard ones which are shipped out of the box. But if you want to have any custom resolutions set up, right? You can also do that. You can add like all the standard and custom resolutions that you want to test your website in, and you will get screenshots on real devices for all these different types of resolutions, right? So this is how you set up, and you create a scan, and if you want any advanced settings, you set it up here. And coming to the different types of reports, right? Like we discussed, we do different types of checks. So just a second. Yeah. So you can see that we do accessibility checks, visual, broken link, performance, and responsive. Let's go through each of these reports in detail and see what all issues are being presented as part of this. So let's first check the accessibility report. So here you get a summary of your entire website, like what is your accessibility score, how many critical accessibility issues you have, how many serious ones you have, how many minor ones you have. You get this entire breakup. Along with that, you will be able to see how many pages are affected, how many components are affected, and your website compliance according to multiple WCAG standards, and also the issue trend over time. Has your website been improving or is it getting worse? On the accessibility front, you should be able to see that. And multiple other items, right? You should be able to see the summary of your accessibility issues. And here in the second tab, you will be able to see like all the accessibility issues that you have. You could have the issues by issue type. For example, the form element must have labels, um, or like images might have alt text and all these things. And you could also look at these issues by WCAG guidelines. So you will get the code and the WCAG guideline, and you will see the different issues by WCAG guidelines. And if I click on any of the issue, right, so I should be able to see all the details of that issue. So here on the right hand side, I can see the component that has this issue. I am able to see a snapshot of the component that has that issue. And you will also you will see like what is the actual issue, how to fix that, and which page is affected, the URL of the page, the element details. So you can use the CSS and HTML selector to find that exact element on your page, and you will also get suggestions on how to fix that accessibility issue. So this is in the list of issues, and you can also see like a list of scan logs. So you can see like all the URLs that have been scanned and how many issues have been found for each of those URLs. And all of those URLs have been successfully scanned, or if there is an issue with that URL, you can see all of that in the logs. So this is the accessibility scanning part. And if you go to the next type of testing, which is the visual testing. So visual testing basically helps you catch visual regression issues. So you take a snapshot of your website in this week, and again you take a snapshot of your website in the next week, the following week. If there are any differences in both of those websites, right, in both of those screenshots, you will be able to see that in this way. Like all the differences are going to be highlighted in red. So I'm unhighlighting those. So you can see that there are a few elements that have changed from the previous screenshot. So I should be able, the Percy Visual Engine will highlight this for you. So for example, if you just take this example, right, for e-commerce websites, the content has changed, but that is not an issue, right? Because it has changed because it is showing different types of products, but the layout is still perfect, right? There is no issue to the layouts. This is where you start using layout testing, and the layout testing will only flag issues which are beyond the layout. Like within this layout, if the images are changed, it wouldn't flag that. But let's say if the each of these cards are misaligned or overlapping, so it would flag those kinds of issues. So this is regarding the visual testing. The next type of test that we do is checking for broken links and broken CTS. So here you can see the different component issues, right? These are the buttons that are not working. So if we click on each of these button, it will tell me in how many pages this button is being used, what is the page that has been affected, and you will also get the details to find that button using the CSS and the HTML selectors. Similarly, if you go to broken links, here you will get to see multiple issues. Like if any of the links URLs that are referenced in your website, if they are broken and if they are not working, you will be able to see that. If there are any resource issues, like if you have hosted CSS, JavaScript, or images which are not accessible, you will be able to see all of those issues in this report. So for example, here you can see that this image, there is no response when we try to fetch this image and this JavaScript. This particular page, it has a 403 error, and all the different types of error codes that we have for each of these pages, right? For all the links in a website, you should be able to see it here in this report. Coming to the next type of testing, this is a performance check. So in the performance check, right, we test for your website's front-end performance. So we check for the core web vitals as defined by Google, right? We check for the largest contentful paint, then the total blocking time, and cumulative layout shift, and a couple of other secondary core web vitals as well. And based on all this, we will generate your lighthouse score, and you should be easily able to identify which of your URLs are working well versus which of them have a bad score. And you should be able to go and fix the issues for all of these URLs. It will also tell you which metric is an issue for this particular URL. So you should be able to fix that performance issues. And coming to the final type of check, the final check is a responsive check. Here we are trying to test if your website is working fine in different screen sizes and different resolutions. So here you can see this is a 1280 pixel. This is how your website would look in 1280. If you want to look at how your website is going to look in a smaller resolution, right? Even smaller than a mobile phone, you could see like this is how your website would look. Also, if you want to see how your website looks in a wide screen with a 1920 pixel, so this is how it would look. So you could like check for your website on multiple resolutions and see if it has any issues while it's scaling responsibly. Right. So this is about the website scanner. There's a quick demo. Back to you, Shanti.
Thanks, Vivek. I think we have a lot of questions. Right. I think Vivek, maybe we can start taking the questions. There are quite a few. You
Sure.
can probably read through them yourself. You'll see them on the Q&A box. And for others who have not been able to share their questions, maybe you can start putting your questions in right now. We have quite some time right now, so we'll try to answer as many questions as possible, and the others we'll try to send you responses over email. We have also shared the documentation of the product and the link to sign up on the product in chat, so you can go ahead and try it out yourself as well. Uh, yeah, Vivek, please.
Yeah, sure. So the first question I see here is website scanner available to all plans? So website scanner is a separate product which is sold separately. And currently we have two plans. One is a essentials plan, which has the broken link checks, visual checks, and responsive checks. And we have the second plan, which is a pro plan, which has all the 5 types of checks. We are also working on including more checks as we speak of, but yeah, it's a paid tool. Is it open source? Again, it's not open source, it's a paid tool, but we do have a 30-day trial period. So please go ahead and try the tool, and you can share your feedback with us as well. Yeah. Can we export the result in the form of screenshots or document from it? Um, for the accessibility check, the performance and the broken links, right? You could export your report as a CSV. So that should be able to be done. In this report, what is the website performance compared against what is considered as an issue? So we are using the core web vitals and the benchmark for these core web vitals as defined by Google. So the benchmarks that are defined for desktop and desktop and mobile, those are published by Google, and we're going to use that. So there is a definition for what performance for a page qualifies as good versus what needs improvement and what is considered as poor, right? So this is being defined by Google, and this is going to impact both your user experience, also your SEO. So it is also important that we keep it standard with the existing this definition of this metrics. The website scanner will identify any vulnerability in the website. So security checks are not a part of the scanner yet, but we are planning to soon include security checks as well. Can it scan iframe pages? Yes, absolutely. Website scanner can scan iframe pages. We have also had some requests where the authentication form, the login form was within iframe, and we support that as well. Now, is it tool able to handle alerts, pop-up frames, and multiple windows? So we have talked about a feature for setting up cookies, right? So um, you can set up cookies to dismiss any pop-ups and frames. That is one way you can do that. There is also custom CSS that you can run before you take a screenshot or you do a scan. So that will also help you dismiss pop-ups and these frames. The next question is, what is the difference between website scanner and low-code automation tool in BrowserStack? This is a very good question. So website scanner is focused towards static pages. Mostly your public websites, which are static, which doesn't have a lot of workflows, where you want to do like you want to automate without spending any effort, right? You just put your URL, you click on scan, and it will like tell you all the issues with your website. But it won't be able to handle any workflows. Like you have to add an item to a cart and check out, or if you want to fill a form, these kinds of workflows are not supported, but it will test all of your static pages. If you want to do if you want to test any of these workflows, then the low code automation tool will be a very, very good fit for you. Yeah, can I test forms are working and features testing using this tool? Currently, we don't have the form test, but we are again evaluating if we should start supporting testing of forms. But you can definitely test it using the LCA tool and the other functional automation tools that BrowserStack has. Is there anything by which we can compare site with Figma? So this comparison with Figma is not directly available in Website Scanner as of now. It is available in two of the BrowserStack tools. One is a Perceive web testing tool, where you can automatically compare your website against Figma. And the second tool is the BrowserStack testing toolkit. So there's a browser plugin where you can manually overlay your Figma design on top of your actual live website. And if you can see there are any differences between those both. Right. Can we set SLAs for different types of testing this tool does? Example, for accessibility criteria for my product might be a little different than another product. You cannot configure manual SLAs, but like I've shown you, we support like different WCAG versions. So you can go to settings and you can select the WCAG version that closely matches your requirement. That is how you can customize the SLAs for your particular website. In website crawler, does it consider the links with the same domain? Yes, yeah. So we go through your website and we'll look for the all the links that are in your different pages with the same domain, and we crawl those. How secure to test the UAT website using this scanner as customer data is loaded? So the tool is completely secure. We don't store any of the customer data. So, and we follow all the standards that BrowserStack adheres to. So this is as secure as any other BrowserStack tool. So no issues about data security or customer data. We don't store any of that. Do we have any on-prem plan too? So this is available as a SaaS product, but if you have any websites that are locally hosted, within the if you go to the settings right of the website scanner, you can download a binary and give access to the sites hosted on your local machine. So the scanner should be able to test the locally hosted sites as well. Is this open tool? Can we integrate with Selenium, Python, or Java? So again, this is a no code tool. So you don't have to write any code to start using this tool. So you don't need any functional automation, Selenium or Python to use this tool. It is as simple as like you enter the URL and click scan, and it will tell you all the different issues that your website has, right? For layout testing, is it compared against something, or how is the problem identified? So visual layout testing is supported in visual testing. Visual testing is a regression testing. So it compares against itself, right? It compares against a previous snapshot of that website that has been taken. And it will try to see if your layout is in place. If the content changes, it will ignore that. It will not flag that. That is what layout testing does. What happens when website uses multi-factor authentication or login? So currently at this point, we don't support MFA, but that is in the works. We will very soon start supporting MFA as well. Uh, can we select Figma as a baseline source? Again, like I said, with website scanner, we don't support Figma testing, but if you're using Percy Web, you could automate it and you can select Figma as the source. Why does sometimes the website shows us not reachable or restricted access? So it could be due to multiple reasons. Maybe the website is behind a firewall, or it got blocked by Cloudflare, or if the website is behind a authentication and if the credentials are not set up. These could be various reasons why the website might not be reachable. Does a website scanner support lazy loading? So we do two things. One thing is we could wait after your website initially loaded for whatever time you configure, right? 3 seconds, 5 seconds, 30 seconds, and then take a screenshot. Also, after every scroll, we could wait for like a prescribed amount of time. So we scroll one, wait for 10 seconds, then take a screenshot. We scroll the second time and take a screenshot again. If that is what you are meaning by lazy loading support, we do that. Can it find out whether the button which is being used in different pages are being developed from the same class? Absolutely. So it will identify that button issue only once. And when you click on that issue, it will show you all the different pages in which the same button has been used, the button which has the issue, right? So it can definitely figure out that the button is being developed from the same class. Are you using Axcore, Pally plus Lighthouse library for scanning? So we don't use Axcore and Pally. For accessibility, we have our own proprietary Spectra engine. And we do use Lighthouse library. That is for the performance testing part. Can I get the session recording? I missed the starting part. Yeah, this second session is being recorded and it's also going to be uploaded to YouTube. So you should be able to get the recording to this. Like I said, we have a 30-day free trial. So please go ahead, try the tool yourself. It's very, very easy. You just need like 2 minutes to start a scan. So register, use the tool, and share your feedback with us.
Yeah, I think as we are building this tool out further and we are adding different features, more types of scans, it would help to learn from all of you. So do go ahead and try the tool out and share your feedback. Again, thank you everybody for joining. Thanks, Vivek, for the session. And look forward to seeing you guys for the next one. Thank you.
Thank you.